On this week's episode of Marketing O'Clock.
There are 3 things that must be resolved before the Twitter sale goes through.
Extra, extra. Google has news. Google news.
140, 280. Hack it. Twitter is opening up the word limit to the new Notes Right feature.
All on today's show.
Welcome, you are listening to Marketing O'Clock. Just stay tuned. Digital marketing news, but let's get specific. Digital ads, SEO and analytics, social media and more. Pretty much everything that'll make your website perform. With new shows every Friday. We give you the news with sass and puns and definitely hot takes. Thank you for tuning in. You know what time it is. It's officially Marketing O'Clock. Settle in, sit back, keep it locked.
Hey there, I'm Greg Finn.
I'm Jess Budd.
And I'm Nicole Waddington.
And it is officially Marketing O'Clock.
Here on Friday, June 24th. All right, how have y'all been? Shep is not with us this week. Nicole is stepping in. Shep is out in Disneyland.
We've been hearing about it for weeks. I'm glad she's finally there.
Yeah. I haven't heard too much about it since she's been there, but I think that's a good sign.
She's having a good time.
What's new in all your lives?
So not much, but I will say yesterday I went to trivia and, I'm not a regular, but I go like maybe twice a month. And my group started out really rough. Last fall, almost last place. Then we bump it up to, 6th place. We're climbing the ladder. Last night, I got 2nd place in trivia, and they gave us free beer.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What did 1st place get?
I have no clue. Maybe more beer.
Yeah.
What are your strong categories?
Music.
Okay,
There's
I
a
would say
song
that.
category. I don't know, history, political science, geography.
I would say those-
Smart people stuff.
What would your good categories be?
I mean, probably music or like 90s television.
I just wait for sports. If there's no sports, I'm just out.
Out. Yeah. It's fun to guess,
well,
though. At
that's
least
cool.
it's multiple choice.
Free beer.
Usually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How about you, Jess?
Greg, you're a fellow parent, and I've come to you with like, okay, we lost a pet in the family. I got to explain this to my child. Like, hard questions being asked, right, with children. I got 2 questions yesterday. The first one was, do some people have purple ladders? And I thought, I'm sure it's safe to say yes. So I say yes. And then, we go on with our lives. And then the kid comes at me with, why is my dad not an octopus? I'm like, what are you even thinking about? He's not an octopus because he's a human, but like, there's no reason why. That's just how he was born. So then he started asking if there are octopus dads. And I said, yes, that's how more octopi are made. And it was
Nicole's
like a whole
the
thing.
Expert on the proper
Which is
pronunciation.
it? Yeah.
Octopuses.
It's octopuses. Yeah. And I started like spiraling, trying to over explain when like the simple answer was because he's a human. And then we almost got into reproduction and how you have to have, and I'm just like, you're 2.5. I don't know why your dad's not an octopus. Maybe he is. It's just, parenting's hard, Greg. And
Can I just say something to you, Jess? If those are 2 hard questions for you, you are in for a trip. Those might be the 2 easiest questions I've ever heard. Why isn't my dad an octopus? Because you're not an octopus. That's why.
no, but that's not why.
It is why.
Because my husband wouldn't become an octopus just because my son was an octopus. It's the other way around. That's why Jack's not an octopus. It's because his mom and dad aren't. So it is hard.
Just buckle up. If you think those are hard, you're in for a world of pain. And speaking of world of pain, I took my kids to their friend's house and we were walking and we're biking down the sidewalk and everything. And I'm running with them to make sure they're like all fine because they just got these new bikes that are a little bit bigger and they were getting used to them. It happens again. The second time this spring, I'm like, what just hit me? Hit my shoe, hit my arm. I got pooped on by a bird for the second time. I don't know what is happening. And all you people out there that are thinking in your heads, oh, it's good luck. It is not good luck. It's terrible luck. There's nothing but terrible luck. This is not the year of Greg. It's just the way it's terrible. I just got pooped on again on my shoes. And I went home and I took my shoes and I threw them out in the garbage. I'm like, I can't have these anymore.
Threw them out?
Yes, I got pooped on twice with those shoes. And there's poop all over them.
Oh, same shoes.
Same shoes. I know they were
The
needed
shoes
it on
are
there.
the problem.
It's
Yeah.
the
I bought them
shoes.
cheap. I bought 2 pairs. So I just threw them out.
Don't
and
wear the other ones.
Oh, they're new. They're fresh.
Yeah, but they're bad luck.
Well, it's summer now. Maybe it's just a spring thing. I don't know. I'm getting pooped on nonstop. It's too much.
Life is hard.
Life is hard. But something that we are all very thankful for is how many of you folks are trying to make life less hard for many people that really, really need it here in our community. By donating to the Buffalo 514 Survivors Fund, you can get an extra special episode of Marketing O'Clock over at buffalo.marketingoclock.com. There's a PayPal there, Venmo. You can donate whatever you like, as little as $1. We'll match that up to $5,000. I haven't checked yet. We're going to probably call this in July, so you have a month more of this. But we appreciate everybody so much that it's going to go directly to the Survivors Fund, and they absolutely need the money. And I'm sure everybody's heard about the horrific incident that has happened here in Buffalo. So thank you so much for everybody. And the episode was very fun. We talk about just shooting the heck and fun stuff, and you hear a lot more about all these other marketers that you might follow on Twitter or hear on the show or us talking about. So it was a great time. So thank you to everybody. And big thank you to Zapier. Zapier is an amazing tool, and it's just maybe the most needed tool in today's world, where you've got so many different apps and programs and systems, and all you really want is for them to work together. That's all you want. It's like, oh, you got Twitter that doesn't talk with this and this with it. It's like Zapier is the connector. It's the super connector that you didn't know you need, but once you start using it, you can never stop. You can automate routine tasks. You can do cross promotion with social media, pull it into different sections. We used it here with some shirts. Mm-hmm. I set up another thing. We have these new auto applies t-shirts that you can see online. And what we did to make our lives easier is when somebody submitted the form, we made it shoot over to Slack, and we made it in a nice printable document that we could just print out and slap on the front. I made another Zap. I made a new one to say, if somebody mentions Marketing O'Clock, I'm going to take that username, I'm going to put it right into a spreadsheet along with the message context, and I'm going to use that to be the next shirts. So if you want some free t-shirts,
good.
I've got a Zap set up, and it pulls in from Twitter into our database, and from there we can then grab everything else from people, but where it's going to give us a full list. I'll assign numbers and we'll give away shirts. I think we got like 20 left. So tag at Marketing O'Clock on Twitter. Unbeknownst to you, Zapier is going to grab that, pull it into the database. We'll assign some numbers and then we'll give some shirts out. So it's an amazing product. And if you would like to try, it's for everybody who wants to get started with marketing automation. There's 4,000 integrations, and you can see why Airtable, Dropbox, HubSpot, Zendesk, thousands of other companies use Zapier every day to automate their business. You can too. Zapier.com, Zapier.com/clock. And you can you can not fry it. No. It can't be fried. You can try Zapier for free. Zapier.com/clock. Thank you, Zapier. Zapier makes you happier. All right, first up in the news, watch out, YouTube. Twitter is zigging to your zag with what I call a new longs feature.
Is it really called that?
No, it's called notes or right.
Oh,
I feel like
that's boring.
they were trying to call it right, and then somebody, I think TechCrunch broke the news and called it notes, and I think they like changed it to notes or something. It was pretty
nice of them.
pretty funny, but according to TechCrunch, in what could be one of Twitter's more significant changes since doubling the character count from 140 to 280 characters, the company is preparing to launch a new feature that would support the direct publishing of long-form content on its platform. And it's called Twitter Notes. You basically can create articles using rich formatting, uploaded media, and then you can tweet it out and share with your followers. And my thought is like, it's like Medium?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do we need this? Do we want this?
No.
No, but at least they're doing something new.
That's the one thing I like about Twitter is you need to get to your point quick. Like you have to get there quick. And then, you can make threads or whatever. We could just forget about those. But anyway, TechCrunch broke that news and Twitter confirmed it, saying that it is merging it in newsletter subscriptions are being merged into what's called @Twitter-Write, W-R-I-T-E, a brand that it's using to encompass its long-form writing efforts, including notes and newsletters. So again, you have to follow it, and the branding says Twitter-Write, but they're calling it Notes. So it's notes/write, whatever you want it to be. Any answer is right. And they say a small group of writers are helping us test notes. They can be read on and off Twitter by people in most countries. I've got a couple examples here. Why don't you both click on that first example there, and we can take a live look at what a note looks like. This says, "Save the galaxy, eat up porg."
Huh.
Hello, hi, do you have a moment to talk about porgs? And you can see there's I don't even know what this thing is.
A porg.
A porg and a puffin. And then you can read about it, and you can save the galaxy and eat a porg. What do you think? Your thoughts? Twitter notes, good, bad?
I'm not reading this. But I wouldn't read this if it was an article on like a blog either, so.
Yeah. If it came up like in my feed or something and I expanded to click into it, and I wouldn't read it. But the format does remind me a lot of like email newsletters. And so I feel like maybe some creators might use this for that. I don't know.
It's a lot. I wonder what it looks like on mobile because we're looking at it on our computers now, but it's just like there's 3 columns on Twitter, right? And this whole middle thing, it is just I don't know. It looks like too much. It's just overwhelming, so I'm not going to read it regardless of the content. I don't think it makes sense. I feel like if you have a lot to say, there's other places to say it.
People are already getting out of control with threads and making,
Retweet.
yeah.
100%.
Let's not do this.
I mean,
Let's
this
not give
could be
people
the undoing
ability.
of the thread emoji.
Mm.
It's the only thing it's ever been used for is Twitter.
All right, well, I've got a note for you. We don't want it and we don't need it. Get it back. You know what you should do? Go the opposite direction. Go back to 140 characters.
I agree.
Bring fleets back while you're at it.
And then you're going to do this like right before Elon buys it. Like, what is he thinking? He's bought the thing and then you're releasing notes where you're untwittering Twitter. That is the entire beauty of it, is you have to get to where you're going fast. And if not, you have to do notes, or you have to do threads or notes, whatever. It's just another thing he's going to whine about. What do you got in your news, Jess?
Well, I don't know if he's going to buy the thing, Greg, because according to CNBC, there are 3 issues that need to be resolved before his Twitter buyout can go ahead. And I don't think anyone is going to be surprised by this list, but I will break it down. Everyone that has been listening, and even if you haven't, you know it's not been smooth sailing. But what are these 3 things specifically? Fake accounts. We've discussed it before. Twitter says the number of false accounts or spam accounts is less than 5% of its monetizable daily active users. Mr. Musk says that's doubtful and probably not most people's experience when using Twitter. They're still awaiting a resolution on that. Who knows? But he's calling it a significant factor in whether or not this goes through. Number 2, according to CNBC, is debt financing. And I'm just going to read this word for word. Musk in May committed to paying $33.5 billion in cash for the company. He has also received $7.1 billion in equity financing commitments from investors. Then he says that the remainder of the funding will come in the form of bank loans, but how exactly this will play out remains uncertain. Despite being the world's richest person, much of Musk's wealth is tied up in Tesla stock. So I guess we don't know if that's going to shake out. And then number 3 is shareholder approval. So investors are expected to vote on the deal in late July or early August. I didn't know, A, that we were waiting on that, or B, that it would be so long. There's a lot of things still up in the air. It's a long time before that vote. I don't know what he's going to do in the meantime. Maybe develop a perfume?
I think it already exists. Tesla cologne.
Oh, I was thinking Elon
really?
Musk.
Oh, that's good.
I
That's
knew
an
what you were
untapped. That's an untapped product he could.
But wait, there's really a Tesla perfume?
According to my roommate, yeah.
Well, it doesn't smell like gasoline. We know that.
If it did, I'd buy it.
Same. Love you.
Well, I think another thing is Tesla was over $1,100 stock price in April, and now it's down to $700 essentially. So all that wealth that he had dropped substantially. Also, I'd imagine can't be super pumped if you're taking out bank loans and the rates jumped, almost a full percent. Like, that's not great either. I just don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. I can't imagine you being the richest person in the world, leveraging everything you have to buy Twitter to get into notes. Like, you know?
Boy, when you paint it like that, it's like, does he even want it? I don't know.
I don't think so.
We'll see. Slow news week this week, guys. Those are the main stories. Now it's time for this week's Take of the Week. This is a #fire digital marketing take with extra spice served up for you. We simply deliver the take for your consumption. We give no opinions. We don't influence. You make the call.
This week's Take of the Week may be the first ever take that stemmed from a tweet that was the Take of the Week last week.
Ooh.
This thread just will not stop from Colin Slattery. And in case you weren't here last week, Mike Ryan was talking about a PMAX presentation at Friends of Search 2022 that said that Performance Max will not cannibalize your brand search terms. Everybody in the world, minus this fella from Google that maybe doesn't know what PMAX is, that was up on stage talking about PMAX, says that it won't cannibalize brand terms. So if you remember last week, everybody said, oh, it absolutely does, and gave everybody came with receipts. And one of those was Colin Slater. He said, so why does volume from branded campaigns drop when Performance Max launches? And there was a slew of responses from that. One of the best was from Menachem Ani, who you can see over on SMX Advanced if you haven't signed up. I think you can until the end of July. It's free, and you can hear me doing a Q&A with him. But Menachem said, my guess is that it does not take over brand exact, but will supersede all variants like brand plus review, brand plus coupon, etc., which is a very smart take, right? Like if you sell cups and you're negating your brand Acme, you're not going to negate Acme cups, and Performance Max is going to come steal that. That's how it works. So Ginny from her Ads Liaison account, the Google Ads Liaison, said, bumping this up here, if you have identical keyword in your search campaign, the search will always be prioritized over Performance Max as long as the keyword is eligible to serve. Campaign isn't limited by budget, targeting aligns, etc. So she's qualifying that. To which Colin Slattery says, what does identical mean? Are we talking old school exact match where any variation no longer matches? I would need both exact match Nike sneaker and exact match Nike sneakers, or I'm not getting the plural. This is how broken Google Ads is. This is unbelievable. This is me talking too. Imagine trying to train people on this. It is.
You're doing it right now.
It's impossible. So Colin asked, what does identical mean, right? Because identical literally is a thing.
Indeed.
Some people say it's exactly something. I don't use the word exact with identical anymore in my life because Google Ads has exact match, and then within exact match, there's identical matching to an exact match term that's not a close variant. Do you have any idea what an identical match is? Honestly.
I mean, if I had to guess, I would say it's only the exact thing. Well, identical thing. I can't.
Correct.
I can't.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're incorrect.
Of course I am.
So identical means, and this comes from Ginny. This is the take of the week. Okay. Take of the week. I'm giving it to Ginny. Ads Liaison. You win a shirt. It's a lies shirt. It's about Google Ads lying.
That's funny.
Happy
she can't wear that to
you.
work.
No. Maybe don't turn the video on that call. So Ginny says, identical means the keyword is the exact same or spell corrected. When there is not an exact match to the user query, prioritization is based on ad rank to determine which campaign is predicted to deliver the most relevant ad and best ROI. Let me reset this. With Google Ads, you can choose keyword matching types. You have broad match, you can match anything. Phrase match, which kind of needs that phrase in there, but it has some other stuff. and you have exact match. But exact match uses close variance and then 3 different intent metrics that can be much more than exactly what's in that term. But if you have a keyword that is exact match, which means it can match on all these 4 other variables, essentially close variance and then the intent and misspellings. If you have a term in there that is identical, where identical means it is exactly matching the query or a misspelling of the query, then Performance Max won't take it. And if it's anything else outside of that, Performance Max can take that traffic. This is the world that we're living in. We have to be in a simulation. This isn't real. I'm like gonna wake up from this nightmare at some point and be like, that was the strangest dream I ever had. Like, I'm gonna be
Nightmare.
I'm gonna wake up and go, oh, there was this world, there was exact match terms, and there's identical match in there, and identical match means you exactly match it, or
So fraternal twins are identical twins because it's just a misspelling of your sibling.
misspelling.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I was gonna give, Ginny has to win with this. Exact match, identical match is exact matching or misspelling.
I love that. How funny you think this is. This is people's money.
Imagine trying to learn Google Ads. Imagine it.
The machine can't even
And-
learn Google Ads.
And I was going to give it to Lawrence Chassis for the take of the week because he says to Ginny's response, so does this go against Google's recommendation of removing redundant keywords in brand? We do need to have more terms to protect brand from being utilized in Performance Max campaigns, unless I'm reading this wrong. No, Lawrence, you're reading it right. Ginny is saying you need to put every single iteration of your branded terms into your brand campaigns now, because if it's not identically matching, which is an exact match or a misspelling, Performance Max is going to come in and eat it up. Does this make sense to people?
I'm understanding what you're saying, but it doesn't make sense.
And to which Colin Slattery followed up to Lawrence and said, I agree. It will go against everything Google has been pushing for 8+ years, but it would also be the benefit of PMax, so it's hard to say. And that's Google's whole point is we're making it simpler for you until PMax. Then we make everything difficult. Everything's difficult. We were simple, now we're difficult. But it's under this guise of simple, but the simple is really taking your brand stuff and making it look better.
That was a visual
Yeah.
chart that you just
Yeah.
created. I hope everyone's watching the video. That's
So,
good.
congrats, Ginny. I hope they found
Congrats,
somebody 14 plus
advertisers. Yeah.
so you can get out of there.
Now it's time for this week's ICYMI.
ICYMI people.
This is something you just might not have seen. Maybe something that you overlooked, but you shouldn't have.
And ICYMI from our friend at The Marketing Anu on Twitter. She will be speaking at the PPC Live UK inaugural event on July 28th and talking on the age of automation. So if you are in the UK and are interested in attending, it's only £8. So we'll have the link to buy tickets in our show notes and go see her there.
And I believe she set that up. That's crazy cheap for an in-person show.
Mhm.
If you're in London, don't miss it.
Now it's time for this week's Pew Pew Lightning Round. At this point in the show, we split up our content into 3 parts: paid, organic, and social.
All right, first up in paid news, Andrew Hutchinson on social media today reports that Meta has implemented new changes to its housing, employment, and credit ads as a result of a recent settlement that happened in the U.S. With the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. So they have this new variance reduction system that will use machine learning to ensure that demographics such as age and gender, estimated race or ethnicity of a housing ad's overall audience matches the demographic and ethnicity of the population that is eligible to see this ad. So this is really in an effort to eliminate the ability to target specific groups of people and addresses the feedback Meta has gotten from civil rights groups, policymakers, and regulators, and is supposed to reduce discrimination in housing, employment, and credit.
You know what I just realized? You got this written out here.
Mm-hmm.
The Department of Housing and Urban Development, the acronym is usually HUD.
Mm-hmm.
Like I work for HUD, or HUD said to do this.
Yeah.
It should be Department of Housing and Urban Development. It really should be DUD.
Yeah.
Hood.
But they probably like, that's a bad one.
Mm-hmm.
But you work at the Department of Housing and Urban
Mhm.
Development. You work for DUD.
You work for DHUD. That's cool.
DHUD, yeah. Mm-hmm. And next up in paid, we have a tweet from @Dario_Zanoni writing, I knew that bid adjustments for remarketing ad audiences and smart bid campaigns have no effect on the bid itself. I did not know that adjustments are used to prioritize the segment to which the impression or click is attributed in reporting. So he has this screenshot here from a Google support page, and highlighted that bid adjustments work differently when you've applied a conversion-based automated bid strategy and the campaign or ad group contains multiple segments with overlapping users. Rather than adjusting your bids, your bid adjustments will instead prioritize the audience segment to which an impression, click, etc. will be attributed.
I feel like I'm in school again.
I know,
Can we stop calling them bid adjustments then? They don't adjust the bid ever.
right?
1 out of 10 times they adjust your bid.
Honestly, how can you understand Google Ads if
Yeah.
you don't do this every day of your life
Yeah.
and have a
You do
podcast
this
about
every
it?
day of your life.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's my
And
job.
I know.
It's literally my job to do this and report. And I look at this and say, what are we doing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't know this, and I was kind of confused the first time I read through it and was looking through the thread. And Dario says to a reply to his tweet, I think it means that when a user who is in multiple remarketing lists clicks on an ad, that the click will be given to the list with the highest modifier. Because we have a rule for which list the click is assigned to, the modifier can be used to help identify good or bad valuable lists. So,
Thank you, Dario.
yeah.
Dario, give
Thanks
me
for
a call. Give me a
interpreting
call,
Google
Dario.
Ads. And Meta has announced that cross-account reports are now available in ads reporting. So this will allow you to get a holistic view into what is working best across accounts and optimize.
Why are they in multiple accounts if you care about them together?
Yeah.
It's,
Sorry, Nicole. It's not your fault. I just hate all your news.
And moving on to more Google news, Joe at the Joe Schmo on Twitter, I love that, noticed a new local services ad review requirement for personal injury lawyers. So on June 30th of this year, personal injury lawyer businesses will need at least 5 custom reviews on Google for their ad to appear on Google search.
in related news, Fiverr is now offering more free personal injury reviews for just $5.
Is that true?
No, I just made it
I'm
up.
sure you could find someone
It's
who
like we
I mean,
got
yeah.
other
write
stuff.
5
just like, did
reviews
that
for
really?
you.
Just-
Yeah.
Oh, like what, they're just gonna. I mean, you're a personal injury lawyer. You're gonna figure out how to get 5 reviews.
Yeah.
They
I hope
have-
they have
yeah.
5 friends. They at least have 5 friends.
Yeah, you got to hurt them first. Personal injury.
And then we have another tweet from Dario Zanoni on Twitter, who noticed a new script templates feature in Google Ads. So it looks like some of the options are link checker, account anomaly detection, account summary, ad performance, flexible budget, and common negative list. So this looks like a new feature, and it's not yet in some of people's accounts as they were talking in the Twitter thread. But this seems really cool, and I'll be looking for it in my accounts.
Yeah.
And then finally, in paid news, Meta is rolling out new monetization tools on Facebook and Instagram that will give creators more ways to make money. So this includes a designated place on Instagram where creators can get discovered and paid for their content. And once a brand finds a creator they want to partner with, they can send a project with the details to them, and including information about payments and deliverables. And this just sounds a lot like what we reported earlier this month with TikTok's creator marketplace. So once again, platforms copying other platforms. And then this also includes launching interoperable subscriptions to let creators give their paying subscribers on other platforms access to subscriber-only Facebook groups, expansion of invite-only Facebook Reels Play bonus program, and Facebook Stars, which I didn't know what that was. I looked it up. You can give virtual items and pay for them to be given to their creators. I don't know.
I love virtual items.
Virtual items. NFTs.
It's my favorite thing.
Remember NFTs? That was fun.
Not fun. What could the T stand
Fungible.
for?
Not fungible.
No, I know, but I was doing an NFT. I just couldn't think of anything for the T. Not fun. Thomas?
Yeah.
Call me. I'm hilarious.
What's the...
NFT. They're
Thomas.
not fun.
Thomas.
Thomas is the T. I had
Yeah.
nothing. Don't make me explain it again. It wasn't
No.
funny the first time.
I still don't get it. Who's Thomas?
It's just a random
one of our loyal listeners.
Thomas doesn't own NFTs.
He can have all
You're talking
my
about Thomas
stars.
Smith?
My nephew, Thomas. He's listening for sure. Hope you did well on finals, kid.
Do you mean Tom?
Get out of here. Yes, from my top 8 on MySpace. Remember MySpace? Do you remember MySpace?
She
Nicole?
wasn't-
You're young.
You were not
I
on
remember
MySpace.
MySpace.
She remembers MySpace.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I knew
Barely. Barely. Well, anyway, that was a mouthful. Meta has new monetization tools that nobody cares about.
All right, and heading over to the organic section here from Barry Schwartz over at searchengineroundtable.com has a news story that Google may be turning on messaging automatically for some businesses. And there's an email that went out that says you can now easily reply to customer messages. And then you say, it says, congrats, a message button has been added to your business profile on Google and as a call to action to check your messages.
Don't congratulate me. I didn't ask for this.
I don't want the messages.
This is congrats.
Here's a message. You now have to log into your maps. I gotta go into my maps.
Yeah, it'd be nice if it was easy to find this. If they had an app that we could use.
They just got rid of that, Jess.
I know they did. That was the joke. It's terrible. Congratulations, though.
Congratulations, Tom. Okay. I think Barry said it best in his article. He said, now, sure, it's great Google Business Profiles has messaging. It had this feature for years and years. But to automatically turn it on for businesses and email them asking them to check their messages, that seems like a bad idea. That's a bad idea. Like, perfectly put, Barry. Another thing, we had messages turned on. We get so much spam. I need to turn it off. I need to figure out how to go into freaking Google Maps, turn off Cypress North messaging. We get so much spam messages now, and it's all these people that are like, oh, I want a website. This is, if you own an agency, you've gotten this. It's like, oh, I would like a website that's similar to this. And then they send you this, and then I send it to Jill, and Jill talks to him. It's like, Jill's like, who did you just send me to? These people are fake people. They won't get on the phone. They won't do anything. If you don't respond to them, then you look like you're a bad business owner. And it's like, I'm not a bad business owner. I'm doing business for the people that are real out there.
Congrats.
Thanks. All right. Keeping it over with Search Engine Roundtable and the wonderful Barry Schwartz, who also has a faster paced news show every Friday. He's got an article called Google Tests Bolding Domains in Search Results Again. And the example is super weird. It looks like somebody is searching for Thor, Love, and Thunder. Like, who knew that that's a thing? But, I mean, are you all Marvel people?
No.
And so if you search for Love and Thunder, I guess it's coming out soon, July. It is a thing.
You should watch the trailer.
That's alluding to what's coming next. All right. But the domain is actually bolded. So in one example, it's wikipedia.org that's bolded. In another, it's thedirect.com that's bolded. I don't understand this. It doesn't make any sense to me. Why would you do this?
It's kind of stupid because the one result, what's bolded is fandom.com, but the URL is Marvel Cinematic Universe.fandom.com, and this is a Marvel search, so you'd think bold something that's important.
Doesn't make any sense as to why you would do this. It's idiotic. Don't do this, Google. Okay, something is the new look for Google News that was launched on desktop and was inspired, according to Google, by feedback they received from readers. They made it easier for you to catch up on more important news by bringing top stories, local news, and personalized picks to the top of the page. And if you look at the example, it's nice. It actually reminds me a lot of Discover, just the way they kind of break it out, and it seems very swipeable. They also said that you can customize your topics, much like Discover. So again, it seems like we're gearing towards a much more personalized news experience, which I'm all for, except they give me the weirdest things. I'll do it right now, and I'll tell you what it's telling me. Tom Hanks yells at fans and says, thinks I'm interested in Tom Hanks.
Why was he yelling at fans? Everyone's interested in Tom Hanks. Why was he yelling at fans?
Oh, I think his wife
trample Rita.
Yeah.
Rita. But anyway, I think this is kind of cool. It's also kind of cool to be able to go to the news section and get the news, right? Like that's kind of nice. But I dig it. Whatever. Okay. Over on Search Engine Roundtable. Oh, hey, Z-index equals 10,000. Google is now saying that content not visible on page is no longer less important. This comes from Barry Schwartz. You could have said this a different way without two negatives in here. Love you, Barry. But according to a recent Search Off the Record podcast, that thing's still going. That was maybe my worst call ever.
Yeah, we thought it'd be over fast.
I didn't think they were going to make it to a dozen episodes. And obviously they're way on for that. Gary.
Congrats.
Congrats. Gary from Google said that Google no longer assigns less importance to content or items that are not visible on the page, which is, I understand you have to say that. People are going to take this out of context. And I'm sure there's nuance that Gary has that nobody else has. But it seemed like an interesting part. I didn't listen to the podcast. It's not really, listening to those Google guys isn't really my thing. But I appreciate the fact that they do it every week. So Martin split, according to Barry, said at the 21:37 mark in the podcast, isn't it a matter of, are we looking at the render tree and basically think if something isn't visible on the page, is it a little less important than things that are visible on the page? To which Gary responded, we don't do that anymore. In which Martin said, oh, so you don't do that anymore? And Gary replied, we used to, we don't. And Martin reacted, oh, that's fascinating. I did not know that. So if you are an SEO head, you would love this podcast, it seems like. But just listen to what they're saying. Don't just Z-index off the page or use white font on white background.
I'm doing that everywhere.
Just don't do that. All right, from Brian Frieselben at type_SEO on Twitter. He says, seen on mobile, top product category under dollar average. And Google seems to be pulling this based on their understanding of an average price across a certain product category. Interesting to watch Google react to customer price sensitivity in their search results. The example he had, he was looking for furniture, appears like, which is just a weird thing to search.
It's so general.
What do you like, furniture?
I need
ever
some new
search-
everything.
Yeah.
Let's search for furniture.
No, aren't you looking for like a dining room set, or bedroom set? You're just looking for furniture?
They just
Anyway.
moved in. They got nothing.
Brian just moved into his house. He's got nothing. It's just him. Tom might be there. Who knows? And in the results, it says top furniture under $230.
It seems like the algorithm figured out that you can suggest coordinating items because in the picture it looks like you could make this a set.
It is.
This is a lovely home.
Yeah.
I just don't understand personally what the heck the $218 thing is, and then why the two end tables are $25. If this was Price is Right, I would have been out long ago.
I think that's a kitchen cabinet unit.
That's furniture? A cabinet's furniture?
You need to furnish the whole house.
Storage.
Oh, it's kitchen furniture.
Is that a set of two for $25.46 or is that each?
I don't know, but
On
if
the
that's
end
two, I'm going. That's the buy.
It's a great price.
Forget everything else. Just
Yeah.
put that one furniture in there. All right.
Two furniture.
Two furniture for the price of one. Price of $25. All right. eBay has announced. You know what? Thank goodness Shop isn't here because she would be just absolutely livid about this.
Ooh.
eBay announced that it's launching eBay Live, a dedicated shopping platform that gives users a way to purchase products in a live and interactive environment. The new experience is rolling out in beta this month, and the company's first live shopping event will offer a curated selection of rare trading cards from eBay seller Bleecker Trading.
You think they're going to try and get the Quagger Factory?
I think they might. Bleecker Trading? I mean, it sounds similar. Bleecker,
They both have
Quacker?
a K in them, yeah.
Ends in an R. So anyway, if you're trying to sell stuff, eBay Live might be something up for you. But it seems like it's kind of trading cards right now. And that's it in Organic Bud. What's happening in social?
All right, first up in social this week, tales from social media Reddit continue. This was posted by Lost in Motion 1. That's the username. It says, so now we can't post regular videos, only reels? But why? I still enjoyed posting regular videos. This should still be an option, just like posting regular photos, but now it's gone for some of the pages that I manage. It's a run-on sentence, but I appreciate the sentiment. And this user shared a screenshot where it says, video posts are now shared as reels, talking about how you can enhance your video and all these other great things. And all you can do is hit OK. So you don't have any options here. And based on the replies, it doesn't appear to be affecting everyone, I would say, yet. With that, for those that it is, they're not happy about it, right? There's a lot of chat about they're making square videos just for the platform. They don't want them to be reels. Now they're getting cropped. Somebody said that they ran into this on a video they posted that was filmed in landscape, so that it was turned into a reel, and their 4K video from their Panasonic G9 is now a crappy looking 240p video. It has nice sound, but it says didn't go off like my other posts thanks to the quality. So I feel like the reach is limited, even though reels supposedly have more reach. A lot of garbage. The best commentary here, though, Vince Homemade said, I'm reading this verbatim, inst copies tick tick, but without the functionality. And then Leroy M just says, or enjoyment. I enjoyed that, but I don't enjoy this.
Why? What is wrong with? There used to be IGTV, you idiots. You made IGTV to compete with YouTube and Facebook Watch.
How'd
now
that
you
go?
took it poorly.
I know.
And honestly, user Lost in Motion, what a username for this story.
I know. It's good.
I just don't like you can't fast forward these things.
None of it makes any sense.
I was trying to show you something today.
I know.
was trying to I'm like, I can't click on the reel because I'm not going to be able to get to where I want to go.
And what did you say to me? I had to go really far back in time to get to a regular picture?
Yes. And I did. I went to
I know you did, but you shouldn't have to do that work. People should be able, and this was a tattoo artist, like things are visual, but still.
everybody's
Don't
just
force people into
so
videos.
stupid. It's made a Facebook, and now they're doing the best they can to up Instagram.
Can I say too?
Sure.
Facebook group sets are a thing. You can now create a custom newsfeed of posts just from groups that you have joined, and not just all your groups, but specific sets of groups. If
Oh,
you're
I'm
in a lot
excited
of groups,
about
that
this.
seems cool.
Yeah, I'm excited about this. I'm
You
a
use Facebook?
Yeah, I
She
lurk.
remembers MySpace, Greg.
I lurk, but I like joining different groups. You know, like so
Really?
this with
Really?
this,
What groups?
like
I'm
new Trader Joe's products.
Shep, is that you?
Buy and sell nothing Buffalo Facebook group.
Okay, I can see that.
Houses for rent. I love looking at houses, even though I'm not in the market, you know? Just group all my favorite things together, and I won't even have to look at what some old high school person, I don't know. Like, I don't want that. I want my group, so I can just go right here.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't
That's
use it, so
yeah.
I appreciate that take.
That's the only reason I use Facebook, not for their videos or watch or whatever, just groups.
Well, that's already gone, so
Yeah.
you're welcome. It's just Reels. Now they have Reels. Do you know that?
No, I didn't.
Doesn't matter. All right, this just in. Telegram became one of the top 5 downloaded apps worldwide in 2022 and now has over 700 million monthly active users. I had not even heard of this thing.
Really? Telegram?
Really,
I haven't
it looks
either.
super cute and fun. There's rubber duckies everywhere, and like the animations are, I don't know, it's colorful. It's a lot, but I like that they have their own vibe. And WhatsApp, like, suck it. Thank you for coming for them. So good for Telegram. Also, I believe that they said that they don't pay to promote their app at all. It's all just like users referring each other, and I think that that's wonderful that they've grown so much. But that's not the news. With this milestone, the platform announced that it's launching a premium, Telegram Premium, a subscription that offers access to exclusive additional features like 4 gigabyte uploads, faster downloads, voice to text, unique stickers and reactions, chat management, animated profile pics, which I actually think is kind of cool. Doubled limits on, quote, almost everything in the app, which is awesome, and a whole lot more. So if you use it, I know it's free, but you might want to consider Telegram Premium, and it sounds like it'll keep it free for everybody else if you support that. So I support them. This is really cute. All right, there's a new way to repost content on LinkedIn. You can now essentially just repost something without commentary, and it'll just go out there, which is nice. You don't have to write a post about it if you just want to share something that you think is cool. Love to see it. And I'm going to repost this. This is from Reuters. Meta. Did I say it right? Not Meta. Meta, Microsoft, and other tech giants are racing to build the emerging metaverse concept, have formed a group to foster development of industry standards that would make companies' nascent digital worlds compatible with each other. Participants in the Metaverse Standards Forum include many of the biggest companies working in this space, from chip makers to gaming companies, as well as established standards-setting bodies like the World Wide Web Consortium, W3C. The group said in a statement announcing its creation on Tuesday. Guess who's missing from this group? I'll give you a hint. It's a fruit company.
Google.
Google's not a fruit. It's a Tom Hanks joke. I knew you were going to bring him up. When he invests in some fruit company? Apple?
Bubba Gump.
Get out of here. Apple. Apple is not a part of this. So, writing's on the wall for something. And it feels like every week there is a new e-commerce and social platform announcement. Here's the one for this week. Twitter has announced a new partnership with Shopify. They're launching a sales channel app that will be made available to all Shopify US merchants through the App Store. And said merchants can then connect their Twitter account to their Shopify admin for use with Twitter's shopping manager and some other free business tools. Love to see
Shout out to listener Joe for the tip. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Joe. All right, and LinkedIn is rolling out the funny reaction. And Matt Navarra shared a screenshot of this, and I don't know who the user is. LinkedIn shared it, so it's probably fake. But it says, what my coworkers see, and it's like a video chat where it's just your headshot and the microphone, whether you're muted or not, and then what my laptop sees. And it's just a super drowsy guy drinking his coffee and or whiskey, depends on the time of day. And you're supposed to laugh at that and think it's funny. I don't think it's funny because I don't feel like I can ever turn my camera off.
Yeah, same.
Right? I know we're in the customer service business, so
Yeah.
we want our clients to see our faces, but then they show up and don't show theirs. But I have mine on. I'm not going to turn it off.
No, yeah, you really have to feel out the room.
Yeah.
I just want to know when the last time you saw something funny on LinkedIn was. Like, when did you see something like funny?
Never.
Never.
I mean, this isn't funny.
It's not funny. Relatable, perhaps, but not funny. I would use the thinking emoji, like, sir, what's in your glass? You're working from home. Anyway, next up from TechCrunch. Meta is cracking down on irrelevant and fake reviews on Facebook. They're trying to make sure that they're based on real purchasing experiences, which I love to see. But speaking of real purchasing experiences, Meta is also launching a digital clothing store where you can purchase outfits for your avatar. Love those intangible items. Tom. All right, from Alessandro Paluzzi at Alex193A on Twitter. Alessandro says that Snapchat is working on a subscription plan called Snapchat Plus. Cease and desist, I'm sure, coming from Disney. Snapchat Plus gives you access to exclusive, experimental, and pre-release features, such as the ability to pin a friend as your #1 BFF. I don't know if that's public or not, but I could see some controversy there. Getting access to exclusive icons, displaying a badge on your profile that you're a Plus member. See your orbit with BFF. I don't know what that means. I don't use Snapchat. Do you know what that means?
No.
Okay. Thank God I'm not alone. You could see your friends' whereabouts in the last 24 hours. If you're friends, you could just ask them where they're going. See how many friends have rewatched your story. I don't know. If you use Snap, you might want to check out the thread. He's got some screenshots and what things look like and more details on that stuff. I don't use the thing for free, so I don't know if I'd pay for these, but power users might.
I think I know.
I would not. Finally, here in social, Instagram is testing a full screen design that looks a lot like TikTok. I don't know who needs to hear this. I'm having deja vu, but I might need to hear it. So I don't know. People don't like it. They think it's ugly in the initial test. So that's at least new or not. Instagram is just going to the dogs. And so is social. We're done.
All right. And this week's WTH comes from abc.net.au, down under. And apparently scammers are using Google Ads to get money from unsuspecting folks out there. So that's the newest scam, is just use Google Ads, because they're so worried about little minor violations here or there that they're not worried about the major ones. And in the example, there was a poor woman that Googled the bank she was looking for, Bendigo Bank, it seems like, and clicked on the first link that came up, which is a Google ad for the bank. Oh, because they allow you to bid on competitors and you have to bid on your own brand, so you spend more money. Interesting. Anyway, she keyed in her login details, including a 2-factor authentication PIN, and then $30,000 was taken from her account. If you look at the ad that was clicked on, and if you just scroll down, you can see it. And if you're on YouTube right now or Spotify, you can see the example. It's banking.bendigohank.com that shows up. There's a lock symbol there in Chrome, which means it's secure. And unfortunately, so apparently Google isn't that worried on your money, your life metrics when it comes to PPC, but is surely going to block those inappropriate messages of somebody washing a car with skin showing on their arm, on their bare arm.
This is like, I'm one of those people that will check the URL when I land somewhere, but H is so close to B, they might have got me to be honest.
They use the same logo, and this is something where you can't use the same people and same automation for this, like literally for your money, your life stuff on ads. I get it. You should have more regulation than somebody selling a soccer ball. It should just be the case. But it's Google, and there's no chance that's ever going to happen. So just double check when you put your money, when you put your credentials in trying to get your money, or somebody else might have it.
So sad. And that brings us to our real life segment, straight out of our accounts and into your ear holes. It's time for Working Hard or Hardly Working, where we talk about what's going on in our IRL work, good, bad, or otherwise.
And this week's Working Hard or Hardly Working, for me, Slack. So
Don't get me started.
I feel like, well, I've been in and out of the office in the past like 3 weeks, but we've also, we're coming up on summer. We have some holidays mixed in there. And, I try not to check my phone when I'm out, but sometimes like somebody will tag me, or I was looking out for something and I just check the channel. And, I read what I need to read and then I close my phone, but it marks it as unread. So there's all these threads that weren't unread, and my day back, I catch up. I try to click into every channel and every single thread, but you miss stuff, and I miss stuff. So I'd really appreciate like a quick mark everything up to this date unread.
Ooh,
I like that.
That's a nice feature. I hope they're listening.
Yeah. What about you, Greg?
So for me, I was making unfortunately making some Performance Max groups with a feed. So I was essentially creating asset groups, and within those asset groups, I segmented by product. So I had very specific categories in an asset group. And then I wanted to test one asset group against another asset group by just doing a different audience signal was my goal, to see if one audience signal could potentially perform better than another audience signal. So I took the asset group and I cloned it with all the creative and all the product categories, hopefully making it over. When you clone an asset group in a Performance Max campaign, the product segmentation does not clone with it. So I ended up showing everything. It was a disaster. I messed a whole bunch of stuff up because I cloned an asset group that had product segmentation. The product segmentation in Asset Group and Performance Max doesn't clone along with it. It's so ridiculous. It's such a terrible product. Don't use it. How about that? Mike Ryan, I know you're listening right now. I know you love Performance Max. We need to have a showdown. I'm done with this thing. I'm done with it.
For me, I actually have a working hard. So I've talked previously about how meetings can get in the way of getting work done. I am here to say that the reverse is also true. You can have things on your to-do list and you'll do like the minimum just to check it off for like regular maintenance things. But if you put time in your calendar to meet with somebody, say somebody on your team, to talk through an issue, it's in the calendar, the other person's there, you're accountable to show up and dedicate that time to sit there and really think through something. And then you're also marked as busy, so you can't be interrupted in your task. So we've been doing that a lot more internally here, particularly the three of us, and it's been working really well. And we've surfaced a lot of things that you'd catch eventually, but not in, as quickly as we have with some of these things. So put a meeting on your calendar, even if it's internal, and just make the time to talk about stuff. You will get stuff done, I promise. And now for this week's
Cool Tool.
As a reminder, our Cool Tool segment is not an official endorsement or paid mention. We're simply sharing something we found in our travels that may be of use to our listeners and is really, really cool. This week's Cool Tool will help you check yourself before you wreck yourself. It's Robin Lord's Tag Mapper, and it comes to us by way of Glenn Schmelze. Thanks for the tip. You can use this tool to find mistakes in your Google Tag Manager setup. So if you're planning on changing something and you want to check on what it might break, or if you find something that isn't working and want to see what's relying on it that might have broken, you can use this tool to do that all visually. You'll see your starting point with arrows pointing to all the things that are all the other parts of your GTM setup that are dependent on it. And then you can switch, I don't love this word, but you can switch nodes on and off to see where the problems are and use this to identify holes in your setup or, again, chains that might break. So we're talking about things like variable references to other variables, trigger references to variables, triggers that are affecting tags, and all sorts of other combinations. It's super handy and it's super cool. Cool tool. Again, that is the Tag Mapper. We'll have the link to it in our newsletter as well as on Discord, community.marketingclock.com, so you can pick your poison and check it out. Now it's time for our must-read marketing article of the week. An article so advanced, so in-depth, so detailed that we simply cannot cover it in its entirety on today's show.
This week's must-read marketing article of the week comes from the one and only Aleda Solis. Who else? I think we talked about learningseo.io before, but I didn't know that she made a section about free online SEO courses. You can see fundamentals, technical SEO courses, content optimization courses, link building courses, SEO courses, learning tips, and FAQs. Up on screen right now is just a look at the many items that she's got in the fundamentals courses from HubSpot, Ahrefs, Yoast, SEMrush, Moz, all the big names out there. And I just hadn't seen the free portion of it, and I want to share it. It's not really a read. It's more like a learn and listen. But she put it in the text, and you should read it. Thank you, Aleda.
And now on to our playlist of curated songs to work to. And you can head over to playlist.marketingoclock.com. What is going on to the marketing playlist this week?
The Marketing O Playlist edition for me this week is the one, the only, Mike Posner, Not That Simple.
And my song this week is Summer's Over, even though it's just beginning, by Jordana and TV Girl.
Y'all may not know this about me, but I am a sap. And I've been listening to a lot of love songs. And in honor of Shep finally making her way to Disneyland, my song this week is Lover by Taylor Swift.
Wow.
All right, that does it for today's show.
It is now officially not Marketing O'Clock.
Thanks for listening.
And we'll see you next week.
Thanks for listening to Marketing O'Clock. If you're looking for more information on today's topics, head over to marketingoclock.com/newsletter to receive every single article we covered. We share the news as it breaks in our Discord community. Head over to community.marketingoclock.com to join.
Welcome to this week's Shooting the Heck, where after our famous Friday news shows, we don't talk about marketing anymore. We just
Shoot the heck.
this week's favorite game, This week is everybody's favorite game. It's everybody's favorite game. I've been talking way too much lately.
Dying without chef.
It is Two Kinds of People, where we give a few scenarios, and it's a binary. There's one or another. You choose one side, and you are that person. And to start, I am going to go with movie trailers. There are two types of people. People that when a movie trailer comes on, turns away, doesn't watch it, just wants to see the movie, doesn't want to see the entire movie in trailer form, or people that actively seek out and require movie trailer watching before they watch a movie. What kind of person are you? Nicole.
I don't really care about trailers, so I'll look away. But like, if I'm in the movie theater and these are like the trailers before the movie I'm seeing, then that's a way to get me engaged.
Okay. All right.
I've been burned by Netflix originals. You can watch the trailer and think it's going to be a good film, and it's not. So I don't really care either. I used to be like movie theater lady, love them, but they spoil things now and they put the funniest parts in, and trailers have changed. So have I. No trailers.
Okay. Sammy, do you want to be in on these too or not? No. Okay. Cool. I am anti-trailer. At some point, we lost our minds with these GD trailers. You can watch it and you see what happens. The guy's wife dies. He then starts turning into a superhero, taking like it's like you see the entirety of the movie with them. It's like I'm gonna watch the thing.
Yeah. I'd also argue that it's opposite sides of the spectrum. We've either seen too much of the movie, or they'll be artsy and it will just be like a little like 5-second clip in a flash and then the title, and I'm not supposed to like know what it is, right?
Yeah.
It's not enough.
Yeah.
Too much or not enough.
Right. There's no just sane person, trailer. Okay, Jess, do you have one?
Yeah, I do. Let's talk about pants or shorts. Either way. There's the person that zips up and then buttons, and there's the person that buttons and then zips.
Is there though?
Yes.
Most people listening are like, is there?
No, of
Is that
course
real?
there is.
Okay.
Of
Nicole.
course there is.
I want to say zip and then button, but I'm not sure now that I'm thinking about it. I'll have to check.
There's only one answer. Everybody right now is like furiously nodding their head right now. You can't button and zip. You zip and button.
No.
Jessica
What do you mean
Lee
you
Bud.
can't? What? Like physically can't or just can't?
So you pull the pants together,
Yeah.
Yeah.
button, and then zip.
And then the zipper comes up so much
It
easier
does.
when the button's
it
in
does.
place.
I have done it. Maybe I am that person
Yeah.
then.
I think the high-waisted jeans for ladies, it's easier that way now because it's a
yeah.
long zip. So if you just cinch it around your waist and button it and then whoop,
I would be so petrified that I'd forget the zip because I'd have it around me, secured, and then I'd forget the zip.
it's just a new way of thinking. You should try it.
All right, I'll try it next time.
Hey, your fly's undone.
All right, Nicole, do you have one?
Yeah. So two types of people. You either will go through a drive-through or you refuse to go into the drive-through and will park your car, walk inside, and order your food.
So I feel like it's situational. If there's a long drive-through line and I can see that there's nobody at the counter, I'm going in. I'm going in. But if there's no line anywhere, I'm driving through. So I'm a third kind of person.
I'm sort of with you. I was recently at a Starbucks trying to get nice coffee, and the line was too long, and I went in and I beat everybody like that was in line.
It's an efficiency thing.
But I would 100% do drive-through if there's nothing there. But if it's too long, you got to go in.
Yeah.
What about you?
Drive-throughs used to scare me because my first car that I had, the window didn't roll down. So it forced me to have to go in. And then also on the other side of things, when you're an employee working at the drive-through, there was one time when the person was out, and so I had to work the Panera drive-through, and I accidentally dropped the guy's credit card, like as I was handing it to him. And it was embarrassing because he was a little heavier and like he parked really close to the thing. So then I forced him to like have to maneuver his car further away from the window and get the credit card that I dropped. So I think I lean more towards going in. Mm-hmm.
Wow, yeah, I've never thought about the other side of it. Is it weird? So you only work the drive-through the one time?
Yeah, one shift.
Best your go-to Panera order.
I don't know. Usually I just get coffee because I'm cheap and everything at Panera is so expensive. Yeah, I don't know.
Soup's good though, man.
All right. Next up, blackjack players. You go to a blackjack table. There's two types of people. People that play by the book. There's no creativity. You hit on this, you don't hit on that. Or people that just let it go and just play by their own rules and start fights at tables. I don't know if I have the right audience here, but what type of person are you if you had to go to a blackjack table?
So I used to play blackjack just on the computer, like
Of course you did.
like a fake casino thing. Not even online, just like on my parents'
Very
desktop.
on brand.
And I
Gamer girl.
I was very adventurous. Like I would have 20 and be like, hit me. Because there are no stakes, because it wasn't real. I don't know what I'd be like in real life, but that's my blackjack experience.
You have the wrong audience.
Okay.
I don't think I've ever played blackjack in my life. But I'm going to predict that I would play by the rules.
See, people guilt you into playing by the rules, but sometimes you're just like feeling it and you're like, you know what? Yeah, it's a 14. I don't care. I want another card. And then people will like fight you. So that I don't even play blackjack anymore because it's too strong.
Like
Unless
people
you're by
out
yourself.
loud will fight you? Like you're ruining the game for them?
Because you're taking somebody else's card. Somebody will be like, that was my card. It's like a huge etiquette thing where it's not even like a game. Like you literally play by the exact rules or you get yelled at.
I didn't know there were rules. I thought it's a game. Okay.
All right. Jess, do you have another one?
Mm-hmm. Two kinds of people. People who return things and people who don't.
Like purchases?
Any thoughts?
I usually don't return things in general. Like I just am bad at it. That's
So-
just who I am.
What happens to the things?
They just I donate them or something.
Or pajamas.
I don't usually do it. I had a Father's Day present I got the wrong size for, and I did return it recently, but usually I don't. I just donate it or to give it to somebody. Especially if it's online, it's so hard. But then now also with Amazon, if it's an Amazon thing, they'll pick it up, especially if it's damaged. If it's damaged or something like that, I'll do it. If
That's different.
if I didn't like it or something, I was like, you know what? That's your fault.
Yeah.
I'm returning all the way. I'm the cheapest person I know. I still use coupons. I still do bottle returns. I will be returning my purchase.
That's fair.
What about you?
I don't want to return anything, but like I feel like a lot of people, they get something and it might fit, but they don't like the way it looks and they return it. And I'm very safe with my clothes. It's just black t-shirt. That's fine. Except today I wore white, but I don't have that kind of risk. But I think even if I didn't like it, I would just be like, well, there goes $40, and I would just donate it or keep it and wear it to bed.
I can't even. I use gift cards. I don't know what it is. I
Forget about them.
just never use it. It's
That's why
too
they're
hard.
great. That's why they're
Stop
great.
it. You small business owner. All right, Nicole, do you have any other ones?
Yeah. So one more. I think was on a theme about like cars and parking and driving and stuff. Two types of people. Ones who will fill up, safe quarter of a tank left, and ones who will let it run on fumes.
I know exactly where Jess stands on this, and Jess knows exactly where I stand on this.
Yeah. I am so afraid of my gas light turning on. When it does, I have anxiety. So if I know that I can't get home or to work and home without my gas light coming on, I'm filling the tank, and I'm filling it so hard that after it says it's full, I keep going till there's even numbers, and I gotta have gas. I have to. It's so important.
And me, I think I might actually keel over and die if once a year if I don't make it to E. And I make it to E on the thruway. I make it to E on the thruway in New York where it's people are going 80. I'll get there and I last year I made it 2 to 3 times to E on the thruway. And I like getting the most out of my time. So I get it drained as low as possible and then I fill it up.
I feel like you live for that thrill.
And then whenever I do, I take a picture of my E and I send it to Jess, and Jess panics.
So have you ever really run out of gas on the side of the road?
No.
That's impressive.
amazing.
That's really
amazing.
good. Yeah.
Like a time, like I get so excited, and like I had a decision like 2 weeks ago to go to E, and I didn't think I was going to make it. So I pulled back. I haven't tried to go to E in 2022 yet. I also don't really know my car yet. I got a car last year, a new one. But I'm going to do it this year.
Year of Greg.
That's crazy. I think I might just be traumatized because one time on my way to dance class, we ran out of gas in my mom's car, and it was not Halloween, but it was almost Halloween. So we were all wearing our costumes, and I was dressed up as a devil, and I was like head to toe red leotards.
Wait.
Went to this woman's front door with my mom to see if she had any gas.
Wait, are you telling me that young Jessica Lee Budd dressed up as the devil?
Yeah. And a bunny. I did both. Not in the same year.
What about you, Nicole?
I'm with Jess. I'm completely terrified of running out of gas. Like, will not be under 100
Like,
miles left. over.
wow.
Mhm.
That's like half a tank. Well, like a
I don't
quarter
know.
maybe. Yeah, it depends
Yeah,
on your car.
It's a little over a quarter.
That's impressive.
Mhm.
Wow. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks, and we will see you next week.
Did you seriously make it all the way through that episode of Marketing O'Clock? Good for you. If you're looking for more content, there is a lot more where that came from. So click to watch our latest episode with plenty of digital marketing news and hot takes. Also, please subscribe to our show and like this episode because my job depends on it.